Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Wilhelm Laubach. And I'm so excited and amazed that he said yes to our interview. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really great. I'm really excited about this episode.
Wow. And we had already our interview. I was a guest in your podcast and I loved the experience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can already say, please reach out to Wilhelm to have your podcast episode or your consulting. And I would like to introduce you, of course. You discovered your passion for business at a young age, starting a trading business with your parents in Kazakhstan. I don't know how you pronounce it in English. Maybe you can help me with that. Kazakhstan.
Yes, that sounds correct. Huh?
Okay, it's great. And you were 10 years old. After launching your own business in 2005, you faced challenges that impacted your confidence, but you rebuilt yourself and your business over time. And since 2020, hypnotherapy and improv theater have transformed your public speaking skills. And now you host a podcast and you consult startups on key success factors like mindset, strong offers, execution, and marketing. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Wilhelm Laubach.
Thank you so much for this introduction.
This is you and this is your expertise. And as you know, for the Inspired Choice podcast, I talk with entrepreneurs, leaders, and experts all over the world. I love that connecting people, networking aspect. My first question to you: what early lessons from your childhood business in Kazakhstan still influence your entrepreneurial journey today?
My parents were very opposed to this idea of selling things for like buying in capital city and selling in our town. And they said, we can't do it because Soviet Union fall down and capitalism is a completely new thing. Before that, it was not possible to sell, to have your entrepreneurship. And I told them, other people also don't know how to do it. And they are doing. Why not to do it yourself? So the most important lesson is we put other people who are successful on a pedestal and we think they are something special, but they are the same humans. They have the same doubts. They have the same problems. But the difference is they just try and do it, and then they learn, and then they get better. The same as we can apply for ourselves. We can just try, expand our horizon, expand our knowledge and experience, and suddenly after a while it starts clicking and it starts working.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. So, I understood that you inspired your parents to go outside comfort zone, so to say. You talked about the Soviet Union and the falling down of that, and the capitalism was or entered, and we had to rethink at that time. I remember, and the people were growing together. And as you said, and this is the best message, we are all the same. There are people who started earlier than us or sooner, and this is why, and we can learn from them without being jealous or putting them on a pedestal. I love your answer. Thank you so much. And can you share a pivotal moment that helped you rebuild your confidence after struggling with your business for 6 years?
Yes, it was incredible how failure without proper mental health support with therapists can impact you. I got really low confidence, and I connected my success, my revenue to my confidence. So I realized sometimes, okay, I sold a website, and then suddenly I felt like really confident. I stood up straight. But then most of the time nothing was happening. Like in the beginning of my career it was going up, but then suddenly Google algorithm changed, and like many things that were not even in my control, they changed. And I felt like like drowning. And then yeah, in 2020, I was kind of on the bottom of the drowning effect. Like I felt really depressed. I felt like, wow, why can't I be successful? Why is it so difficult? What is wrong with me? And at exactly this moment, I started going to a hypnotherapist, and it was a revelation for me. I thought I'm feeling down because it's just too much work, but and I thought it's because of the current situation, but it was deep in the childhood. Those uh, source of lack of confidence, the source of this unhealthy relationship to success and money was based on my childhood. And even the first hypnotherapy, I felt much better. And suddenly, after several hypnotherapists sessions, I felt like the world became more colorful, like really intense. I realized how beautiful the landscape is, how beautiful trees are. Before that, I was really focused on work, on success. And somehow, despite all this effort, I was not that as successful as I wished to be. And if you focus less on the success and money, and focus more on first on removing all the blocks inside your subconscious mind, and second, enjoying the ride, then it automatically becomes more successful. And I felt like even with working less afterwards and more healthier work-life balance, I was succeeding much more.
Oh, I love that you pointed that out. The balance between relaxing and work, for example, or combining the two by becoming aware of how colorful the world is. The trees, you mentioned nature as well. So thank you for reminding me. It seems like a beautiful way of living. You discovered, yes, you discovered, and I love that so much that you share it with us today. Yes, and I have to mention, and I forgot to mention this with other guests, how we met. We met on LinkedIn, and I think I came across one of your podcasts or articles on LinkedIn. And I love LinkedIn as a platform also to build great connections. Yes, thank you so much. How has hypnotherapy and improv theater changed your approach to leadership and communication?
Those two things showed me what is actually possible. So before that, I really struggled with public speaking. I remember I had to present our business idea. It was startup weekend event, and it was so simple. I know these things that I have to present in and out, and I was like I couldn't speak anymore. I was stuck there, and I was reading like a first class. So, and this kind of experience like before the improv and hypnotherapy taught me a wrong lesson, and said, okay, I'm not made for public speaking. I'm not made for being in front of, like, presenting something. I am more the creative person. I knew since my childhood I'm creative. I'm more in the back and doing my creative things, and everything else should be done by other people. But as entrepreneur, you represent your company also for other people. Confidence in public speaking, it's such an important part, and you can bring your career to a next level if you do that. And yeah, especially so the combination hypnotherapy and improv theater is amazing, because you test your skills in improv all the time, and you see how you react mentally. Maybe you are nervous, maybe you are worried what is not going in the right direction. And then I go to my hypnotherapist, and we work on that. Why do I feel this pressure? Why do I want to be very, very funny? And then after a while, now I removed all this pressure from me, and I don't care about the audience so much anymore, and I don't care about being funny immediately. And suddenly I am even more funnier. Suddenly I'm so in the moment. So and the most important lesson from improv theater is that I will always find what to say. Even like if I have a public speaking and there is a script, even if I get forget certain paragraph, how is it exactly written, I will come up with the idea what to say to with a similar meaning, but not the same words.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. And I remember we talked about the improv theater before that, and I'm amazed by that because it is a word, improv theater, and what we attribute with that is, yeah, we can act how it please to us, so without thinking it doesn't matter or it doesn't count. So it's not a public speaking, but in fact it is, because it's only the meaning we give. And when you speak on stages, you can imagine you are at the improv theater, and then you are less nervous and stressed out. And I love how you describe the process of doing the improv theater and then talking to your hypnotherapist. That sounds for me like inverting the process, because normally people think about how will I act and then they act. But now you said, yeah, this is illogical, so I do it first and then I analyze what can I learn from it. Thank you
I
so
also I,
much.
I also learned two other lessons. First lesson is to improve yourself steadily and with small steps. So especially with going outside of the comfort zone. You go outside of comfort zone like very little in the beginning, and then a little bit like very, very teeny tiny steps every maybe month, every quarter of like 3 months. But then you look back after 3 years and you realize, oh wow, how is it possible I am talking in front, I'm doing a show in front of hundreds of people and I don't feel the crazy like pressure and stress and stuff. And the second thing is, um, I have to think about, so judging, yes. In the beginning I was judging all the time. If other people are performing on the stage, I was judging, okay, that's not how we learned, no, he made a mistake, he made a mistake. And then when I was on the stage, I was judging myself all the time. Oh damn, why didn't I do it right? Especially afterwards, when you have so much time, of course it's so much easier. But we have to be aware that whatever we do in the moment, that's the best we can do. And there is no reason to blame ourselves why we could have done it better. We have the time for the best possible answer we did, and we have the knowledge. Of course, afterwards, we have more knowledge, we have more insights, we have more time. It's easier. But at the moment, we couldn't have done it better.
Wow, I love that. Yeah, of course it is, because you it is illogical. You just act like how it feels like. And I was thinking about, how about considering life as an improv theater?
Yes, that's so true. I always see so many parallels to outside of improv. What we learn in improv, it can help you in communication, because in improv it's all about listening and reacting to the what is given. Every communication gives you a present. Like in improv, if someone says something very strange, out of ordinary, in the beginners, they don't care. They think about their story. They think about something crazy to say next. But there is a present for you. And the same with communication and with sales process, with all like even podcast. You see something very interesting and you dive deep, which oftentimes people miss.
Absolutely. So improv theater is the opposite of scripted reality or TV shows or whatever it is, movies. We learn the script, right? And then we play the role. It's the opposite. And maybe life is supposed to be an improv theater because there's nothing to lose, only to win, right? When you speak from your heart without thinking. And I was thinking that thinking is in fact your enemy because it contains your past and also your worries about the future, and this is not going to happen only
Yes.
if you overthink it and then you attract it, right?
Overthinking is a good term, yeah, because it's not about the problem is we think about how are we going, how, yeah, we are being perceived, how do we look like, how, and 1,000 things are in the head, and they're not giving us room to be in the moment, to give our best. And if we just quiet our conscious mind and just ground ourselves, focus on our body, focus on our breathing, then suddenly our subconscious mind can work much better, and we can use our subconscious mind. We talk from our subconscious mind, and that's so much more powerful, so much more intelligent than if we are busy with 1,000 other things in our brain.
So true, and I love how you pointed out, maybe you didn't, but what I understood between the lines is how this helps in entrepreneurship because we are entrepreneurs.
Of course. Entrepreneurship, people maybe also have a different view on entrepreneurship. That's why I created this masterful formula, which not only include marketing, but also the mindset and the offer and the process. Because entrepreneurship is actually, it's all about communication, leadership, processes. You need to work with your team. You need to work with your clients. It's not about business idea. People overestimate how important the business idea is. But I've interviewed on our Masterful podcast so many entrepreneurs with most average business ideas who are very successful because they are just executing it right. They are motivating their employees. They are enabling their freelancers and employees, and that's how you become successful. And yeah, the lessons from improv theater and the lessons from using your subconscious mind and not to judge too much, to overthink too much, that can be applied in entrepreneurship very well.
Wow, I understand. And I also see this episode as an improv theater because you are the expert for that. And I also understood from your answer that it is when you start a business, it's not about the business idea. These were your words. And that means for me, translated into my knowledge or seen with my filter or perspective, it means that the business idea is the thing you need to start. And then from there you develop because business is all about pivoting and let's say dealing with change, even though I don't like this expression dealing, because dealing is like, yeah, you have no control, like taking responsibility for the changes and make powerful decisions how it goes on. And it's like also improv theater is about making decisions what to say next, right?
Yeah, it's both
Mm.
areas are about taking risks. Also in improv theater, when you the more risk you take, the more it can be really exciting and funny, but it can also fail, and you learn to cope with that. People, sometimes you expect you say something so really like kind of crazy, and no one is laughing, and then you say, okay, you have to deal with that. And if you feel like, oh damn, I messed it up, then you are in your head and you are not in the scene anymore, so you are distracted by your thoughts, and it's difficult to be funny and to do something. And with business, the business, many people, they wait for the perfect business idea. But how is it supposed to come? And even if it comes, if you don't have the experience to execute even a mediocre business idea, you will not scale up your business in 1 year. And that's the thing. Even if you have amazing business idea, you have a time frame where it's no one is doing it. But after a while, competitors coming in, and then it's all about execution. And most of business plans, they are so different in 1 year, in 2 years than in the beginning. But you have to start somewhere. It's like with in university, you have to write a thesis. And I had this experience. I wanted to have it really, really good, and I was stuck in front of a white paper because I didn't know how to start a perfect thesis. And then I said, okay, you know what? I will just write a draft, like whatever comes to my mind, and then afterwards you can improve all the aspects. And the same with business idea. You start you the business idea should be, of course, like something that you are relatable, maybe not overcrowded. So there are certain things you could improve for better chances of success, but it's just a starting point. You should, and it's just learning for you. Don't expect, if you are starting a new business, don't expect to be completely successful after 1 year and everyone is doing your job. Like you outsource everything, you delegate everything, and you're just counting money. No, that's not how it works. The first year, no matter the business idea, you are learning, and then you are improving the business idea. And in most industries, you can find your niche after a while, and you can have a really good business idea.
I love how you implemented the word improve here, because also related to improve theater, of course. And I learned that it depends on your, I would say it depends on your intention when you are doing the theater, what you intend to be the outcome, if you want the audience to laugh or if you want to learn something, of course. And you talked about taking risks as well, and I think the greater risk you take, the greater will be your reward in which direction soever. You talked about not failure, but unexpected outcome where you can learn, or highest rewards, the love and appreciation of your audience, of course. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's have a look at my last question. What are the most common mindset challenges you see in startups, and how do you help entrepreneurs overcome them?
So one problem is, I saw it over and over, is that people don't listen to experts, and people assume they are maybe good in their area, maybe they are good in legal. So lawyers, if lawyers create a business and they come to me and I say, okay, it's my home, it's what I have been doing for 15 years, for over 15 years, and in this area, I'm not saying it like directly, but I'm thinking in this area you are the newbie. If I need to consult you in legal, I would be very like humble and would say, okay, I think maybe, but you are the expert, you make the decision. And the same is for a marketing and startup business. They do it with like their perspective, and they feel like, okay, I know what I'm doing, please do what I want to do. And I am telling them, I don't think it's the right way. Of course I can do it, but I would recommend a different way. And they don't oftentimes listen, and then they spiral like downwards, because I mean, it's not also for me not so interesting to work with people who don't listen to my expertise. And it's different if I understand, okay, they know what they are doing. If they are like successful marketers, I would be listening to them, I would learning from them. But if you can see immediately if they have a clue about startup business and marketing, and if they don't listen, then I say, okay, maybe a junior freelancer or like someone who is cheap and just executing your not very like smart ideas is a better use of talents than if I will execute your thoughts. So they tend. I had a few clients like that, and they are really preferred to work with juniors because they don't say their opinion. But it's such a waste of time, and then they learn with their own mistakes. And with if someone has 10 years experience, I do it myself as well. I am not there's marketing and all this business, startup business, it's so complicated and so diverse. So I always work with experts. They consult me because I can save so much money. You cannot read all those books of like, it's not possible and it's not practical. Those people who are in the practice, who have been doing it in real life, they have a total different knowledge that is not available oftentimes in books.
Absolutely. These are books not written yet. Thank you so much for sharing. I had so many thoughts when you talked, and I think let me see. Okay, when they don't see. Okay, there's this quote. I don't know if you know this. Something about, do you want to be right, or do you want to be successful, or do you want to be rich? Of course. And then listening to experts is one of the not principles, that successful people follow. I heard about the term delegate authority. That means you trust other people like experts that they will do their job in your favor, of course, and to help you. Yes, I see the point. And my question would be, but I think I know the answer because you said already you are not very eager to work with those people who just want to see execute their ideas. If you refuse clients when you realize that they are not ready, or the mindset is not how's the word, appropriate to what they want to achieve.
That's a good question. I realized oftentimes there is a wrong mindset, that they have too much confidence in themselves, which is unhealthy as well, but sometimes they have not enough confidence, or they have a wrong attitude towards money. As an entrepreneur, you need and also towards risk. You need to take risk and you need to invest money. I had a client recently, and she was spending $10,000 per month in Google Ads, and she didn't want to spend any money to manage those Google Ads. So they were wasting for several years, they were wasting a ton of money. And in their opinion, they thought they are saving money because they are not investing in Google Ads agency. So for that reason, my focus is on marketing, but there are so many layers before marketing can work well. So that's why I offer this podcast on masterful.info, where I interview experts. I'm not an expert in all of those areas, mindset and offer and process, but I am passionate about it, and I learned so many interesting people in the podcast, on our podcast. So my attitude is, okay, maybe you are not ready to work with me on marketing because there is too much that has to be done before that. I don't see success chances, because there is a reason why success rate of startups is so low. First of all, the mindset, but also they are underfunded, so they don't have so much room for failing. Like if they don't succeed after 1-2 years, they run out of money and that's it. So it's better to go back to the basics and to think, okay, is there something wrong with my mindset? And why is it important for me? Because I learned it from my own experience. I was working day and night and still was not succeeding because of lack of confidence, because of lack of self-esteem, like believing in myself. that's why I recognize it also much easier now. And also the offer, sometimes people have so not a good offer, and they try they say, okay, marketing, solve that. But that's not how you do it. Marketing is only like a tool. You cannot solve a business with marketing. So to answer your question, yes, I try to work with startups that have potential, and where I see, okay, it has potential to succeed. As soon as I see, okay, it's going nowhere, it doesn't have a potential, then I don't want to spend my talents and time. I want rather to use my talents to startups that are ready to succeed.
Wow, I love your answer. Thank you so much. Now I understand better how you work. And you also mentioned where we can find you on YouTube, masterful.info. It was, right?
Yes,
Something
yes.
like that. Also the
Yeah,
web.
there is
Mhm.
on the website masterful.info, there are platforms.
Okay, perfect. We had a little the sound was lacking here. Masterful.info. Please reach out to Wilhelm. He's amazing. He has information not many people have, and he's willing to share if you are willing or ready with great potential to work with him, of course. What is my now is time for your last thoughts to the audience, please.
Yes, you mentioned risk taking, and people oftentimes misunderstand what is risk. For me, creating the same business that 1,000 other people created, that's a lot of risk. For example, to create a restaurant in a street where there are already thousands of restaurants without crazy innovation, like without something special, that's a lot of risk. For others, they say, okay, it's being done. There are successful companies out there that have been doing the same thing, so it must be not so risky. So that's why in the other eyes, maybe certain things are perceived risky to try completely new things, but it has maybe even better, bigger chances of success because there is not so much competition, and you are not just following. And you have to, if you are creating a business, think from the value perspective. How do you want the world to be improved? How do you want the people's life to be improved? Not how do you want to earn more money. That's too short-sighted. You cannot succeed if you only think about money, money, money as an entrepreneur, because to earn more money quickly, just go to McKinsey or to go to Goldman Sachs and work there. You will get much easier, much faster, much safer money. But if you think from the perspective of how can I improve the world, you will automatically, maybe not after 1 year, but after some try and error, you will automatically go into the right direction.
Wow, thank you so much. We keep in mind the greater perspective, how to improve the world. I love your choice of words here again. And please reach out to Wilhelm, connect, or to me. I will introduce you. Of course, this was our inspiring interview today. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
And see you in the next episode.